Rock Talk continues with Blair Packham and Bob Reed on News Talk 1010 CFRB.
Welcome back to the show. Bob, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
Name 3 artists who performed at Woodstock. Wait. Okay, better. David Usher was the singer for what Vancouver group? Oh, wait, okay.
I had answers.
Okay, I got a good one. I know, I bet you do, actually.
Processing.
Okay, here's your last question.
Okay.
Since you did so poorly on those first 2.
Thanks a lot.
How many strings are there on a 6-string guitar?
Oh, man, I knew that one.
Okay.
I knew that one. Where are you going with this?
These are questions that can be found in the fun, silly, and informative board game Bandthology. That is Bandthology, and we're talking to the inventors of the game, or 2 of them anyway. It's a made in Canada game. We're talking to Joe and Cal. Hi, guys.
Hi. How are you doing?
Good. Bob is still struggling with those questions, however.
I am. My head is hurting.
So you guys are out west right now. Where are you at?
Well, Cal Wilson here. I'm actually in Calgary today.
Okay.
And I'm Joe here. I live in Calgary. I'm just in Banff for the week.
Okay, and we're in Toronto, and we apologize for that because we know how you guys out there feel about that, but it's just the way it is.
I'm originally from Burlington, actually. So
okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Cal Wilson, let's kick off with you. Describe for us what the game's all about. What's the object of the game, as they always say in the rules, and how do you play it?
Well, basically, the object of Bandthology is to collect 6 funny-looking musicians, and the way you're going to do that is by answering different styles of questions that we came up with. There's straight trivia questions, there's anagrams, there's what we call additions, which are basically charades, which are a lot of fun in the game, and there's some open-ended questions as well, which allow lots of different types of answers from different types of people who have different types of musical interests.
Okay, so Joe, it's not simply sort of like a musical Trivial Pursuit kind of thing.
No, we actually went out of our way to make the game accessible to everybody. So Cal mentioned there is some trivia in the game. It's a very small part of the game because with all the other style of questions, it allows for anybody and everybody to play the game with true and false questions, mix-ups, fill in the blanks, and then, of course, your open-ended questions, name bands with colors in their name, like, Green Day or Pink Floyd. So those questions really lend themselves to whatever style of music you listen to. So,
right, it doesn't really focus on any one genre. Now, I played the game on New Year's Eve. Actually, that's how exciting my life is, and it was great.
That's a good New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it was a great New Year's Eve, in fact, and played with some good friends, and we had a blast. And the audition part makes it really special because you're sort of forced to do stuff that you wouldn't normally do, which is always good for a laugh. But my question, I knew that we'd be talking to you at some point. I know how to write a song. I know how to plan a radio show, or Bob might argue with that. But I don't have any idea, seriously, have no idea how you invent a game. So what's the process?
Why don't you go ahead, Joe, with that?
Well, the game started, Cal and I are both sound men, and we do film for a living. And on set, a lot of the time there's nothing to do but wait while you set up shots, that kind of thing. So we started passing the time by saying, let's name songs with rock in their title. So we literally do that for a couple of hours, and the next category was songs with color. So eventually the crew got in on it, the cast, and we played this for months at a time. Other people were coming to us with categories. So because of that, it became a lot of fun, and we knew that couldn't sustain itself as a game. So we decided let's add some other elements to it. And over the course of going on 5 years now, that the final result is what you played on New Year's Eve, and it is those different style of questions that support the open-endedness of it. So,
oh, that's great. Good for you guys. Yeah, I was going to ask how long it took from concept to store shelf. I guess these things must take a lot of time and a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, they do. And Cal, you can certainly answer to the process of getting it made and all that.
Well, yeah, it took a long time. Of course, it started with basically a pencil drawing for a rough an idea of what the game should look like, and then of course we over 5 years it changed many times, just like a song would change potentially in the lyrics, and then eventually we ended up getting into the manufacturing stage, and that took a long time to this is all new to us. We had to learn all these new crafts, and but eventually we made it through it, and here we are today talking to you, and the game is out in I think it's 140 stores across Canada right now.
Oh, that's great. Wow. The board itself physically reminds me of, without any copyright issues at all, reminds me of a Guitar Hero. I somehow there's something to it, and I just think it's interesting that there seems to be this resurgence in interest in music, and games to do with music as well. And I think your timing is perfect. Was that deliberate? You predate that stuff in some ways with this game, don't you?
Yeah, actually we do. We're so old. We've been out there for a while now working on this. But
we're so old.
Well, we always wanted the board to be a guitar. It really symbolizes music and made it for an easy setup for the board as well in terms of playability. So
yeah, it's
in the very beginning, years ago, it was always a guitar. So
I have a question for Bob Reed at this point. This band is from Montreal. Bran Van Blank.
3,000.
Very nice. Okay,
come on.
One
what
more.
else? What else?
Name 2 songs by the band.
The Weight and Acadian Driftwood.
Wow, good choice.
Wow.
Very nice. Isn't that good, you guys?
One,
yeah. Of course, you're talking to guys in radio, so it's probably likely that they'll have some interest in music. But
just a little bit. And you actually just answered a question of mine or a comment, Blair, and that's that there's lots of good old Canadian content in this, isn't there, Cal, Joe?
Yes, there is. There's actually a fair amount of Canadian content in the original game. We've also come up with some what we're calling touring edition card sets. I know Joe sort of spearheaded a project. It's the Ultimate Canadian Edition. I think there's 100 cards in there, 600 questions of all Canadian.
And we want to do something a little different, so it's not just questions about artists. It's questions about milestones in the industry, in the recording industry, radio broadcasting, that sort of thing. So it's really not specific to music, although it focuses on that, of course, but it really is a journey through the history of that whole industry. So
all subjects we cover extensively here on the Rock Talk program, so you're in good company, lads. Two thumbs up from us here. Cal Wilson and Joe Major are the inventors of Bandthology, the game. Is there a website, guys, that people can go to for more info?
Yes, there is. It's www.bandthology.com, and it has all kinds of information about the game. Of course, we have a live production of the game that we've just launched, and we've performed live over a dozen times right now, so that's exciting as well.
Hey, a new venture. Good for you guys. Yeah. Well, best of luck with it. It's really well done and comes highly recommended from us here. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. A real pleasure. When we come back, M. Greiner joins us on Rock Talk right after this.